I'm joined this afternoon by Chloe Doak from Get Harley, who's the commercial manager, and also Thomas Schaefer from Revision Skincare, who's the international sales director. And we're going to do a little Q&A session and a nice little chat about how Get Harley works and how Revision Skincare works and how we can integrate it for practitioners and business.
Exactly.
So, Chloe, I'm going to allow you to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about Get Harley and how Get Harley works and how it benefits practitioners and their business.
Right, so I'm Chloe. Thank you for joining everyone today. I've worked at Get Harley for the last 12 months now, but I've been working within the kind of health and wellness sector for over 3 years. And Get Harley was actually started in 2019 by our founder, Charmaine Chow. And the whole concept comes from her own experience, really, as a really kind of disgruntled patient. Charmaine's always really suffered with her skin and said she would take time out of work, go see a wonderful doctor for a treatment, but basically when she left the clinic, no one would really check in or follow up with her. So as a result, she never really stayed with one product or one doctor, so she never got on top of her problems. And Charmaine's background is investing in healthcare companies. And she really understands the industry. And she actually thought, what clinician has time to really manage all those follow-ups and managing the replenishments for products? So she thought, actually, if I design a service where clinics can send their product recommendations on a digital link so that every patient just leaves with a skincare plan, someone would ship it to the patient's door so it's really convenient for the patient. Someone would send them a message afterwards to be like, "Hi Chloe, how are you getting on with your products?" And then someone would then remind them to replenish. The clinic's going to earn more money, but the patient's actually going to get way better skin outcomes. So that's how we started, and we now got 700 clinics working with us across the UK and Ireland. So we've had a great few years.
It's amazing. Great, thank you so much. And Thomas, if you could tell us a little bit about Revision Skincare and the background and how it started and how integrating Revision Skincare into the business would help drive future sales.
Yeah, excellent. So Revision Skincare was established in 2002, and it started with the believing that you could achieve healthy, beautiful skin without impacting long-term skin health. We basically established some formulation philosophies. We've got to unique technologies, and here we are 21 years later now formally getting into the UK. So why should you have Revision Skincare into your business? Well, for me, I'll start off by saying I believe that we have a shared value between us as a brand, Get Harley, also you as a physician, and that is we care. We simply care. And it's not just that, it is caring about advancing the state of the industry. We care about providing skincare solutions that are highly efficacious for physicians. We also care about patient outcomes. And when you look at Revision Skincare, we like to keep it simple. We keep it simple but effective. And so what do I mean by that? The part of this conversation is kind of, well, how do I make revision successful within my practice, both within procedures and, let's just say, through retail? So this example is, we have a product called Revox Line Relaxer. It is very specific it's a serum that's specific to being paired with neuromodulators. So when you think about it, and this is actually, I'm going to paraphrase Dr. Shino Bay from the US, because I don't remember his quote, but I'll paraphrase his quote. He says, sometimes we're often too reliant on toxins that we forget about the skin. And this product was developed specifically for that. So this product utilizes a unique technology that has 8 neuromodulating peptides within to fine lines and wrinkles around the eyes. Now, what do we do with those peptides? It acts very much like toxins. What we're doing is we're actually inhibiting the release of acetylcholine in the skin, allowing the skin to relax. And so, in saying that, it's not really, I know the first thing that people think is, this must be a replacement for Botox then, and it's not, because one is underneath and one is topical. And in fact, they're really a perfect pair. So, just to give you an idea of really this one particular SKU in terms of opportunity within a practice, for us at Revision, we launched that item in April of 2021. By the end of the year, it was our number 2 SKU. It completely took off because it was easy to understand, easy to introduce, especially with injectables. if I could just put kind of rough math together, if you were to kind of introduce this to your practice and you were to move one per week, over a month, that's 4, over a year, that's 48. Sales about 159 pounds per serum. Quick math, that's about 7,600 pounds of, you could call it passive income. Another success story, and it actually happens to be Dr. Shino Bay, the way he introduces his practice is he actually just puts it into his pricing of his neuromodulator, his Botox, his injections. And so he raised his price, but now it includes the serum. And so he makes sure they take it home, they use it, and they're optimizing their results. So by the time they come back, they're ready for the refill as well. So if you can imagine the amount that this physician does in terms of Botox or injectables, the incremental income is, I don't even know if I can calculate it at this moment. So that's one. Now, in relation to Get Harley, I say which is a tremendous, tremendous service. It's a story of space, capital, and speed and convenience. So what do I mean by space? Well, really in the UK and in the clinics that I've visited, sometimes you're limited on space, right? And you can only have so much on shelf. There's only so much room. And so what Get Harley provides is you could have a strategy of providing the products that you believe you can add, such as Revox Line Relaxer. They're ready. But it opens up the opportunity to offer so much more to your patients. So in the event something is very specific, because we all know all these treatments and procedures, you can't get specific, you have the opportunity to lead them to Get Harley. Now, in terms of capital, it's in relation to number one, where you're not really forced to tie up capital in so much product there. And then speed and convenience. To me, I hold, and Lou, I know you hear this from me all the time, I hold speed and convenience at such a high value, especially today. So I'll give you an example of that. So we work with Get Harley, and in January, we saw a slowdown in just clinics being open. People were on holiday. It was just made it, I would say, maybe challenging to get the products you want from your clinic. But what we saw with Get Harley is a complete lift while these clinics were closed, because the patients still needed their product. And so that kind of speed, efficiency, and convenience was there for them. And so in the nature of that, you're talking about another channel of, I call it passive, but it's also incremental income to your practice.
Yes, perfect.
Sorry, I'm a bit long-winded.
We're going to cut you off then
You're looking for
anyway.
a job at Get Harley.
So once a practitioner or a business has taken Get Harley on board, how does Get Harley then help maintain those sales and keep the replenishment of those sales coming through of revision?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. So I think what we offer, any clinic that decides to partner with us, the first thing we do is actually go into clinic, look at the environment, see how they're recommending skincare at the moment, and help them kind of adjust the way they're recommending skincare to the patient in a very tasteful way. So the patient understands the benefit of what, for example, the revision product. Why is the practitioner actually recommending that revision product? Mm-hmm. We also work incredibly closely with the brand revision to make sure that we give the practitioners the best training so they really understand who the products are most suitable for. Because what we really want is the patient to get the best results. What we know is if they see results in their first sort of 4 to 8 weeks, the replenishment rate is much higher.
Right.
And then they'll come back and ask, what other products does Revision have? And we have a team of 60 that manage this patient concierge side. So even if the clinic's closed, like Thomas said, the patient can message us and say, I Get Harley, when I was in clinic with Dr. Chloe, she mentioned that you also do an eye cream. What was the eye cream, or what product was it? And then we can add the other revision product into the plan for the patient. And the practitioner might not even be closed or not around, so it's helping them get that passive income. We can also send samples of the products to the patients if they're interested. So the practitioner puts in one of the revision products and writes, they were also interested in this other product. Revision have kindly given us lots of samples that we can actually put in the box for them to try.
Right, so you've already got everything you need to help encourage replenishment of the products,
Exactly.
and also help branch them out into
Yeah.
a selection of the other products within that brand.
Exactly.
So they might only start with one product and have a
Exactly.
very simple regime, but
Yeah.
then end up with a full
Exactly.
regime of Revision skincare products.
Exactly.
Excellent, great, thank you.
No worries.
And Thomas, what kind of support does Revision give to not only AestheticSource as the distributor, but also to Get Harley as the platform that we work closely together with them?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, actually, these days, I'd say I hand out free product constantly.
Well, you have
So-
while you've been here. Have to keep-
I give it away like Oprah Winfrey. It's just going out to everyone. Now, I will say in terms of support, there's one thing from Revision is we're not product pushers. We're just not. We are more solution presenters, is what I call it. Whether we're working with a partner like AestheticSource or they're in the clinic speaking to you, we're always asking questions on how can we make you guys better, right? How can we help you meet your goals? It's not a conversation of, hey, I've got this product for you, you got to have it, so on. We're looking to build a long-term business relationship, knowing that takes time to build. If I can give you an example, is in the U.S., we have that kind of same practice. Now in the U.S., there's got to be tens of thousands of clinics and opportunities out there, but in reality, we work with 4,500. And there's a reason for that, because we like to take the time, we take the care to properly develop them and put them on the right path to be successful with Revision skincare. I will say with AestheticSource, this is the reason why we're partners. Same practice with their business development managers. In fact, that's why the title is business development manager. Is they enter and they find what's right for you. It's going to be, we would rather have you be successful with core items that really contribute to your practice versus 10 things that really don't do anything. It's not a win. Now, in relation to Harley, I believe it's the same.
Yeah.
It's absolutely the same, because what they're doing is they're taking the time to work with Revision to learn about all our products and all our offerings. And in the event there's any questions or information you have, the support comes directly from AestheticSource and Get Harley to answer any of the questions you may have. And I believe you mentioned kind of other support tools that you offer as well. So I think
aligning with you, Thomas, it's all about understanding what your goals are as a clinician and helping you work towards them, whether it's financial, whether it's patient outcomes. And I think what we've been able to do is help clinicians earn a passive income of kind of like 50% more than what they were originally earning. And the reason being, every patient that will come into your clinic will receive a complimentary skincare plan. So once they've left the clinic, even if they didn't buy any skincare on the day, you're not losing that opportunity to actually recommend skincare to them. So it stops them buying elsewhere. And that's what we tend to see with all the patients.
Yeah. And I think the one thing I'll just add is that the partnership and the support, you're getting the education for the practitioners so they can educate the consumer that's buying the product. They're getting the marketing support from Revision to AestheticSource and to Get Harley as well. So it's a whole collaboration of pulling everything together and providing it between the three of us to deliver everything that the practitioner and the business needs to give the consumer everything that they need.
Yes, no, that's a really good point, and I forgot to mention that. Where when we talk about business development and kind of helping you build a plan, it's exactly that. Where the conversations are about sales, marketing, and education, but really at the clinic level. What are we doing there? In terms of sales, what would you like to accomplish? What do you want to do? Where do we see opportunity? From marketing, what are the opportunities? Anything from social to in-clinic merchandising, or how do I get the word out there that I have this so we can achieve our goals? And obviously education, which I believe is the most important piece of this thing, because if we don't know what we're talking about or we don't know what it is, then it's all for naught. So.
And I think we always want the practitioner to know that we work as a partnership together. And so, for you, it's if you don't want to buy all of the inventory up front or have it in the clinic, you can still recommend the best brands. Because I think that's what some people worry about, is those big upfront costs. So you don't have to worry about that. We work really well together. You can still recommend the best brands, and we'll make sure that the patients get the best service possible.
Fabulous.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank
Enjoy
you.
the rest of your afternoon, and we may see some of you tomorrow as well.